Hello and welcome to The Bigger Issues with James and Nick. I'm James.
I'm Nick. That was my chord. Yeah,
Your chord.
intro.
High level
Great.
chord.
Okay. That's 5 seconds of silence. We need to say something now.
That wasn't 5 seconds, that was like 3 seconds. 3 seconds. I've silenced. So,
I don't know how to count.
should we start going down the list?
Yeah, let's do that. We have a really big list today.
Well, I have a medium-sized list, and you apparently have an enormous list.
It's not enormous. It's I reckon double the size.
Double the size?
But I think most of it is stuff that will only take a couple of seconds to talk about. For instance, right, this is the first surprise for you.
Well, hang
Okay.
on. Can we start with the first thing on my list? Because that makes sense to start with.
Okay, sure.
So, we missed last week because Nick was away.
Oh, yeah, I was away in the Lake District.
Lake District? Is it nice there?
No, it's really bad. Everything's very industrial. You can barely breathe. The air isn't very
Are there
fresh.
lakes?
I was joking. Yeah, there's lots of lakes. It's very nice. There's lots of fields and trees and stuff. We got lost once, but we got found again, so that's good.
You got found or, like, unlost?
Unlost.
Like, so somebody just didn't randomly find you
Well, sort
as
of.
a corpse?
We got found by a scout group that was walking the same trail as us. And they unlost us, sort of.
Wow. You're relying on a scout group to get you unlost.
I know, the irony.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Because they don't know where they're going, and you know that.
Yeah. So I've got a surprise item here that you don't know about.
Surprise item. Go on then.
I was in Morrison's yesterday.
Okay.
And I was buying some chocolate biscuits.
That's
And
fine.
they had a packet of penguins. You know the biscuits.
Yes, penguin. Yeah.
Aquatic animals.
Yes. Well,
Semi-aquatic.
they're birds.
Birds. Yeah.
Semi-aquatic.
But they were advertising a new, bigger size. And I was looking at this and I was thinking, hang on a sec. Because back when I used to have penguins a lot when I was like younger, like 10 years ago, or sometime around there, they used to be a pretty good sized biscuit. And then when I went for a period of not having many of them, and then after that, when I had them again, they seemed to be smaller.
Well, might that not have just been the fact that you had in fact grown?
Well, yes, but
Like
the thing is,
they relatively were smaller.
not just that. I reckon that they've changed shape, so that they used to be
Really?
sort of. Yeah, I think they used to be like thinner and longer,
Did they?
whereas now they're close to a square shape. Anyway, the point is that now they're back to that original size that I remember,
Okay.
and it's glorious. It's the experience has been refined somewhat.
So the thing the chocolate bar I always remember from when I was younger are Freddos.
I never had those because they were
Oh no!
expensive.
Right, it was a thing every Saturday. Okay, when my mum was at work, my dad used to take me and my brother into town, and we'd buy whatever he bought. I don't know, but then we'd go into the newsagents at the end, and we'd get me and Matt would have a Freddo each, and my dad would have a Caramac, and it was fantastic.
Yay! Family. So yeah, I guess that's the penguin thing expended. What's
Okay.
next?
On my list, the next thing is homelessness.
Okay, so what's happened with this that's made you begin to worry about people being homeless?
You told me to put it on there.
Did I?
Yeah. Because it's
Did
a pretty
I?
big issue.
Oh yeah,
You
it is a
did.
big issue.
But
Maybe
I
we
mean,
should save it to the end.
well, no,
That's
I
what
think, why don't we start now? Why don't we talk about homelessness?
Because usually like work up to the big issues, but okay, let's
Well,
talk
we
about
can go, we
homelessness,
can dip in
try
and
not to
out.
offend
Big
people.
issue, small issue, big issue, small issue.
Fair enough. But then, does that not make the small issues seem trivial, as opposed to being actual issues like they are?
I mean, they are somewhat trivial though, aren't they?
Usually, yes, but we don't want to highlight that. We want to.
Well,
It's alright, go on, let's talk about homelessness and try not to, like, start
Okay.
a flame war or something.
So yeah, so homelessness, like, how does homelessness actually happen? Is what I want to know.
The jobs industry fails you. Your situation at home isn't any good, so you can't stay with any relatives, and therefore you end out on the streets with nobody to care for you.
That's awful.
It is, yeah.
Well, this needs to stop. The government needs to do something.
Well, you say that, it's a pretty big issue. Like, the government isn't known for tackling big issues.
This is true. This is true.
They're known for kicking them down the road and being like, yeah, the Liberals will fix it when they come into power. And,
they don't want the Liberals to get into power.
well, exactly. Because they know that if they do, then all the issues that have been kicked down the road will suddenly, like, explode in flames or something.
I don't think that's... Right, okay.
Do you reckon that quote, just what I said, could be put on a wallpaper, maybe?
Could we do
Like,
that?
You know, like, those like, wallpapers that are a picture of a tree, and then a really meaningful quote?
No, but I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a big issue. Something needs to be done about it. Agreed.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, that's homelessness done then.
Then it's Red Duck.
Red Duck.
Yeah.
Link in the description for this one.
I don't even know if it's... Yeah, it's still on YouTube.
It's still on, I've checked.
Good.
So this was a commercial for a energy drink that we had to make for like a homework thing in... Was it year 8?
It was a while ago.
Year 8 sounds about right, so this is like 3 or 4 years ago.
The point is, I animated it using...
And I added the music.
Yeah.
With my high-level editing skills.
I don't think either of us at the time had particularly refined our abilities in these two mediums yet.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of sucks. It's ropey, to say the least. It's ropey.
Yeah, but I like it. It's got a certain charm to it.
I think it's the music that has a certain charm to it, James, because the music was written by, like, Queen.
Yeah.
So I guess I get the feeling.
I think we're frauds.
Actually, I saw a Thomas Cook advert, I think, where they were using Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but get the feeling they were trying to capitalise on Queen's popularity rather than their own. As if, like, they didn't seem to be advertising themselves, but more like, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, you like that song, don't you?
That's quite easy to do. If you're advertising something and you're popping the background tunes as, like, something very well known, like
that was easy.
Whoops.
You spoiled the surprise now, James.
I pressed it by accident. I was just kind of had my hand on it, and then it just Anyway, but yeah, no, that's as I say, easy to do.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like it. It seems like they're not even trying. They're just like, oh yeah, hang on, adverts don't seem to be trying anymore. This is a big issue for me.
All adverts?
Yeah, I watch TV. I don't watch TV very much, keep in mind, but I did watch TV while I was on holiday. And the adverts were just... Like, I remember a time when things had to sort of make sense a little bit, whereas now they just try and associate their product with a thing that is good.
Okay,
a thing that's sort of random.
What?
When really there's no connection there between the product and the...
Well, I mean, that's been done for a while. If you can cast your mind back to the beginning of Compare the Meerkat.
Yeah.
Well, that's associating
but Compare the Meerkat was good because it was compare the market and meerkat and the confusion between the two things. I liked those adverts. Whereas now it would be like...
Well, I mean, that's still a thing.
Yeah,
They're
it is.
still using that.
They are.
Because it was so successful.
It's a bit tiresome now, I think, maybe. I mean, the Arnold...
I mean, you can get free cinema tickets now.
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in their adverts now.
yeah. They're okay, but they always come up before YouTube videos, and they're like 15 seconds long, and you can't skip them.
There's a different one of in cinemas to on TV. There's like two versions of the advert, one in cinemas and one on TV. I don't know which one's on YouTube videos.
Probably the TV one, I imagine.
I would presume so, yeah. Tends to be that way.
But like, it'd be like, I can't really think of a good example. It'd be like some person running down a beach or something, and then like the product they're advertising will turn out to be some detergent or something.
Or a car.
Yeah, or like
it's always a car. No,
but yeah.
Adverts have been like that for ages as well.
I know, but they still annoy me. I get the feeling when I was younger, perhaps I just didn't notice.
You only noticed the interesting ones.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know. So I've got a good thing on my list here that you don't have.
Okay, go on.
Right. I can't remember where it was that I heard this, but someone said in a video on YouTube or something that no matter how hard you try, you can never properly move all the liquid from one container into another. There will always be some left.
Okay.
And I was thinking that, hang on a sec, because surely it will be possible when like in the future at some point when we have better technology.
Surely it's possible now.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
If I have two completely sealed containers, one is full of water and one isn't, and I have them connected, one above the other, with a tube between them, and then I boil all the water in the lower container, and then once all that water is boiled up and is, just kind of floating around as steam in the upper container, I get rid of the pipe, close up the containers, and boom. But
the thing is, as a gas, the steam will expand to fill the container, and at least some of it will go into the tube, and also there will be molecules left in the lower container anyway, because that's how it works, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist.
You're not a scientist. That's true.
But yeah, that's the sort of what I was thinking.
Okay.
But what I was thinking was maybe one day we could have a material that's like fits with graphene or something, that's like on an atomic scale, perfectly flat and impermeable, and and no water can ever get caught on it or like attached to it or anything like that. And then maybe we could remove it from. I don't know. It was just.
I just love how you just sort of jumped on the graphene bandwagon there.
Yeah. Well, usually bandwagon.
That bandwagon is full right now. I'm sorry, Nick. You're gonna have to get off. There's not enough room for you.
But we're going so fast. If I fall off now, then I will die. I'll hit the ground.
It's gonna be
with my neck. Okay, sure. If it's for the good of science, then I'll do it.
It's probably for not for the good of science, but for like the good of humanity, really.
Yeah.
Because if there are too many people on that graphene bandwagon, it's just going to crash and burn.
What will happen when like Minions gets on the graphene bandwagon?
When what?
Minions, the little yellow things that everyone seems
Minions. As in from Despicable Me, Me 2, and the Minions.
Yes.
I don't think they're planning on getting on the graphene bandwagon. They're firmly fixed to the banana bandwagon.
Oh.
Have you seen the Minions movie?
No, I haven't. Oh. Have you?
I have.
Now, you see, while I was in the Lake District, there was a little cinema in the town that we were in. And they were showing a few films. They were showing Ant-Man, Ted 2, I think, Minions, and later on in the week they were showing Inside Out. And on the first full day we were there, I think, we ended up watching Ant-Man, which is a superhero film by Marvel.
Ant-Man Next Avenger confirmed.
Well, he's already been pretty much confirmed for that because he was one of the original Avengers. So
in what? in
in
the comics.
the comics. Yeah, he was one of the
Was he?
original.
Yeah, but so was Wolverine, wasn't he?
I think so, actually.
And
Hang on, here's the else I wanted to talk about, but isn't on the list. Actually, no, it is on the list. Look, it's right here. Okay. While I was in God, Jesus Christ, this is so confusing. While we were in the Lake District, there was a couple of bookshops that were selling comics, like Marvel comics, trade paperbacks, at a really good price. Like, they buy them in wholesale, just randomly. Like, they had no idea which ones they were going to get, put them all on the shelves at a pretty much, like, a really low price. Just, and there was loads of them, and I was standing there thinking, like, yeah, I should probably get some of these. And I was looking at all the titles, and it was like, so you can have X-Force, and you can have Uncanny X-Force, and you have this different Uncanny X-Force that looks different, and it's from a different year, but it's the same title. And then you can have Cable and X-Force, and I was like, who's Cable? And the shopkeeper didn't know, because he just buys them in randomly, and apparently he didn't even want to, but, like, someone told him they'd sell, and he did it on a whim, and they did sell, so he carries on doing it. Basically, I didn't buy anything, and I went back to the place we were staying at, and I went on the internet, and I looked up X-Force, and after about an hour of meticulous research, I eventually worked out sort of the way it all fits together. And turns out the X-Force from Cable and X-Force is a completely different X-Force to the X-Force in all the others.
why?
Like, it's not even related. They just call themselves the X-Force because there's some X-Men who form a team and are therefore an X-Force. I don't know.
There's a new Fantastic Four film coming out, isn't there?
There is, and the trailer for it showed before Ant-Man, and I was thinking, because the original was actually quite good.
Was it?
It was
Did
actually,
you like it?
I
never saw it.
It was
But
really funny.
I've never heard anything good said about it. I haven't heard anything said about it, to be honest, but it's like, because, you know, the more recent Marvel films, like, I mean, well, not all the more recent ones, like, all the X-Men ones, and, you know, all your Avengers and your Guardians of the Galaxy and, you know, other things, they've all been, like, praised, like, the next Messiah.
Yeah, but
or something.
Fantastic Four was out before all of that.
Well, I know it
came
was, yeah.
And,
but
yeah. But I don't know if it can beat the original as a reboot. Like, The Amazing Spider-Man, that didn't beat the original, really, did it? Like,
apparently The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was good.
Apparently it wasn't, from what I heard. Ooh.
Well, I heard it was good.
I don't know. I
heard it was amazing.
Strange.
Funnily enough.
From the producers, yeah.
No, not from the producers. From Jack
What was
Howard.
I even going to say?
Are you familiar with Jack Howard?
Jack Howard? No.
Well, okay, he's a YouTuber.
Oh. Is that what you're going to say about him?
Yeah, pretty much.
Link in the doobly-doo?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? So what was I going to say? Yeah, in the end, I just bought all of them.
You bought all of them?
All of them. They weren't expensive, and
Why?
it was quite a lot of comics because they're quite good. The X-Force comics are pretty good, and I know the order now. I know how it's meant to go. But the fact that it took me so long to work it out, like to work out how they all fit together and everything before buying them, just goes to show that Marvel
Comics are confusing.
Yeah. And they have, like, a separate universe, a completely separate thing called the Ultimate Universe, which is like, yeah, these comics have been going for ages, let's just do it again for new readers, and this time it's going to be in the modern day, so it makes more sense, as opposed to being, like, radioactive spiders and stuff, and now it's a genetically modified spider, in case you're wondering.
What difference does it make?
I don't know. Anyway, I did read, like, the first volume of this, the, like, 2001 volume or something, a while ago, and it was okay. But the fact is now, in 2015, they've had this big storyline stuff that has basically ended up with their main universe, Earth 616, combining with this Ultimate Universe, Earth 1610, and now they're one big, weird, multi-dimensional thing.
Fantastic.
And it's like, wait, so now you want me to go back and read all the Ultimate Universe as well? Is that what you're saying?
Probs.
And Star Wars, in the meantime, has gone the other way, haven't they? Like,
Have they?
yeah, because Disney bought Star Wars, and the first thing they did was said, right, you know all those Star Wars books you have, and you know all those hundreds of pounds you invested in their comics. Not that I've done this.
Canon? Did they say they're not canon?
They said they're not canon, and they're like, the only things that are canon are the 6 films, the Star Wars Clone Wars TV series, and our new TV series, which is coming out. And by the way, you should totally watch it because it's going to be great. I haven't seen it.
What about the next 3 films?
The next 3 films are everything that they produce from now on is going to be canon, but the other stuff is now fitting into kind of like a. I mean, it's interesting the way we've done it. They said that it's like a kind of a mythology sort of thing. Like, it could be true.
Are the video games canon?
Could not be true. No.
None of them.
None of them.
What about Battlefront 3?
No. Oh, that's interesting, actually, 'cause that's a sequel, isn't it, to the others?
Battlefronts 1 and 2, which were before Disney took over Star Wars.
Yeah, how's that going to
now,
work?
Battlefront 3.
I'm going to look that up while we carry on.
Okay. So Knights of the Old Republic isn't canon?
No.
That's a shame.
So, I was wondering, though, is it necessarily a bad thing that they've removed all this extra lore and gubbins, some of which may be really good, but other bits of which are going to be questionable in terms of quality?
I'd always go with it's a good thing to remove bloat from your canon. Because if you think about it, like, you want as many people as possible to be investing into your fictional universe. And if your fictional universe contains many extra things that people have to, look into and find out about, they just don't care anymore. So if you just chop all that bloat off, people will
actually
be much easier.
This is just reminding me of something that's really interesting, because you know about this, just about. There's a card game called Magic the Gathering.
I know about Magic the Gathering.
Supposedly the biggest card game in the world.
Whoa, bigger than Hearthstone?
Oh, I don't know about that. The biggest trading card game, physical trading
okay,
card game.
Biggest physical TCG.
Yes. I don't know if that's a brand thing or.
Although then again, Hearthstone isn't a TCG; it's a CCG.
Yeah, there's
a collectible card game.
But
anyway. You can't really trade. I don't think you can trade Hearthstone cards. I've never tried.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway,
the Magic the Gathering universe, as it is, has been going since a year, a long time ago, like 20 years ago or something.
Since a year.
Yeah, and they've always had a problem with the storyline, because you have all these cards in your deck, and they can put the story on the cards if they want, like bits of the story and stuff. But then the moment you shuffle your deck, which is what you do at the beginning of every game, the cards are all out of order. So it doesn't really work.
If the cards all have like a number, then you know what the order is.
Yeah, but equally the cards are sorted in terms of mechanically more than anything. So they are sorted by colour and then by name. So in terms of the order of numbers. But hang on, just let me finish.
Okay,
right?
Go on. Sorry.
They've so all this time, people haven't really been knowing exactly what's going on, like the general Magic player, the casual person. And so in upcoming years, they say that they're going to try and do something more with putting the story on the cards, but in a manner where it doesn't intrude on the gameplay like it did in some of the older sets when they tried to do that. And equally, they're going to do less blocks, sort of thing. They're going to do less new expansions each 2 years. And it's going to be better, and they're going to be concluding storylines, and everything's going to make sense, they promise. But, like, I've tried in the past to look up bits of the Magic the Gathering lore, because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's just so confusing and random, and none of the media that the lore was printed in is still available. And it's the exact same story with Star Wars and Marvel comics. Like, original Marvel comics are so expensive nowadays, aren't they, to come about. So, I don't know, all these reboots and stuff, they must be a good thing. They must be.
I mean, they wouldn't keep doing them if they weren't profitable. And it's all about the profit.
Right, hang on. Okay, this is interesting. Star Wars Battlefront, the new one, isn't going to have a campaign, and it's not going to do lots of storytelling.
Ah,
But bits of it are going to be canon, like
bits
sort
of
of.
it.
Yes. So,
A sort of going
well,
to be
the
canon.
thing is, they're saying that the multiplayer games online and stuff, they're not. They can't be canon.
They can't be
because
canon.
yeah, because there could be loads of them, and they're not going to make any sense. So, blah.
Okay,
Uh,
that's kind of a given.
so
I actually will commend the first game that decides that every single multiplayer match will be canon. That is an interesting thought.
there already is a game
Is
where
there?
everything is canon, and that's called No Man's Sky, or EVE Online as well, I guess, to a lesser extent.
EVE Online.
But but No Man's Sky
Wow.
is literally everybody matters. Everybody has an impact on the story, and even if you stop playing, the impact that you've had will still be there.
That's deep.
Yeah, it is. I mean, No Man's Sky is just mind blowing, really, what they're doing. Link in the doobly-doo for information on that, I guess, if people don't know what it is. But I think most people know what it is by now. It's been in the gaming media enough. So yeah, what was the first thing I was going to say way before all this stuff, like 10 minutes ago?
No idea.
It was the films, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're talking about films.
So Ant-Man is a superhero film. Full stop. That's like the end of the sentence. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a parody of that or taking that seriously, and it does suffer as a result. It's by far not the best one of the
Okay.
universe.
But
but-
Ant-Man's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's
Like
cool,
he's like a
and
man who can like be small.
but keeps the proportional strength of an ant. So he's tough. Well, anyway,
Yeah, that's cool.
it
It's
was
like
a good film.
Spider-Man, but he's like more like an ant than Spider-Man is like a spider. Because Spider-Man
Yeah.
stays like human size. It's like, well, what are you doing? That's not a spider.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you can climb walls and spin webs, but you can't be small.
yeah,
So,
it sucks to be you, Spider-Man. But in the comics, apparently he was really influential, like the
Who?
original
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man. Yeah, because he like created all of the Ultron drones and stuff, like the first iteration of those. And yeah,
actually, when
but-
go on.
No, you.
Okay, well, when I first saw the Ant-Man trailer, I was like, oh, there's a new Marvel film coming out. Oh, it's about a superhero I've never heard of before. Oh, I bet there's loads of extensive lore in the comics about him. So I went on Wikipedia, and I found out that aren't there actually like two Ant-Mans? Ant-Man?
Yes, there's Hank Pym, who was the original Ant-Man. I don't quote me on this. This is from the film. And then
Yeah.
there's Scott something, as usual. I forget the names. Who succeeds him? Just blah. Yeah. And
Okay.
but yeah. So the other film that I saw though later on, over Minions. Well, we saw Ant-Man over Minions. We were like Minions.
It's. I'll just say Minions. I would say it's not as good as the first Despicable Me, but it's better than the second one.
Ooh, well, I liked the second one.
Yeah, I didn't. End of.
Okay.
Carry on. Back to Inside Out, I'm presuming.
Yep, you got it.
It's on my list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. This is something that's interesting for me because Pixar is like on a level above most films. I consider like
So,
they're
Nick, your favourite film is?
up.
Up.
The Pixar film.
Favourite film of all time is Up.
I have reasons why, and I have written a review of Up for English, I think, a while ago, that went into very big detail as to why it is the best film I've ever seen. But that's more of an opinion thing, and a lot of people don't agree with me. So,
Hey, a
The
lot of
point
people
is-
like Up. Up's a good film.
yeah, people like it, but they don't rank it as the best or anything. They're like, no, Toy Story was better. But I don't think Toy Story is.
Toy Story's animation's not as good. Because
Yeah, well-
it was like, wasn't it like the first Pixar film?
Yeah, it was.
So, like when you watch like clips from Toy Story, the original, and then you watch clips from Toy Story 3, you realise how much better like Pixar's animation and like animation technology quality has just gotten better.
I mean,
since
honestly, at one point I saw a clip of it from Toy Story, and I thought it was like in the design phase.
then. Yeah, I know.
Like you know
You're
that.
like, why are there so few frames? Why
Um,
why is this motion so jittery or unrealistic or whatever?
But it was a good film. But
Yeah.
Up was better.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah.
so Inside Out is a film about growing up, and that's what everyone says about it, and it is entirely true. That's literally the entire premise of the story. You see like a girl as her life progresses, sort of thing, through the foil of these people in her head, like the numbskulls.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first saw the trailer a few months ago. I thought, hey, that reminds me of the Numbskulls, which was from the Beano.
Yeah, I think they were some of the first people to do that. That idea of like I
People
don't
in the
know.
head.
Don't quote me. I
controlling
might have to
things.
look that up.
Although that was in Doctor Who as well.
Yeah, but
The Tesselector.
Doctor Who though. That must
Although
have been
like
later.
the people
was...
that they were controlling weren't actual people; they were robots. It was a robot that took the form of other people. Anyway, carry on with Inside Out.
So what I really wanted to talk about was why are we so drawn to films that are about growing up?
Because we've all grown up.
Have we?
Yes, probably.
What,
No,
what
maybe
about
not.
kids? What about like kids who are still in primary school
They
and stuff?
aspire to grow up.
Do they?
Probably.
I don't know if I ever did aspire to grow up. To be honest with me, I was always like, yeah, life's fine.
I didn't. I didn't realize how fantastic life was when I was younger. I just wanted to get on, and now I've realized I like missed out on like I didn't make the most of the best time that I had, and I feel kind of sad.
I think that happens to everyone, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at a stage now where like my childhood's sort of a separate thing now.
It's fading. It's definitely fading, which is a shame.
It is. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, good. What the things I have listed here? So Up, actually, to begin with, is also a film about growing up, I think, because at least in the opening montage.
Well, yeah, the opening, yeah.
I
think Up is more about life in general, as far as I'm concerned.
I think to me, the moral was you need to let go, which is a moral for a lot of things, but letting go of the past and
I think the most important moment in Up is when because obviously Carl's wife Ellie,
yeah, she dies.
She dies.
Sorry, spoiler. Sorry.
Spoilers for a film released in what 2010 or something.
A while ago. 11.
And he decides that he's going to go to Paradise Falls, which was the place that they'd always dreamed about going to, and that was the adventure that they were always going to go on. Never actually happened, so he did that. And then, at the end, when he reads the adventure journal, and she'd actually filled in, she'd put in pictures from their life, their married life together, and it was, I think, it was kind of I felt like it was trying to point out it was to do with the joys of just living.
I think for me,
subtle joys.
The pivotal moment was, or at least the start of the pivotal bit, was when he was throwing the furniture out of the house. Because he was, towards the beginning, he was really protective of it, and he was like, yeah, we need all this furniture because it's the only thing I have left of Ellie. Yeah. And then when he realises that Russell's about to die, he's all like, nah, get rid of this furniture, we gotta fly. And he kicks it all out of the house. And it's a really, hard-hitting moment when all the stuff just hits the ground and, smashes, and he's just single-minded. And then at the end, just one of the last shots when the house is left there on the top of the cliff, like it was in the pictures.
Yeah.
Up was a very good film, and Inside Out doesn't compare to it really. I think.
Right, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Inside Out yet, so
I've also got The Last of Us and Homestuck written down here in terms
you
of
have.
things about growing up. But I haven't played The Last of Us, and I haven't seen playthroughs of it, so I can't really comment on that.
Why did you put it there then?
Well, I just thought I should mention it because it's a very different image of growing up to the way Inside Out goes about it.
Okay.
Because Inside Out is all done in this really colourful and happy mindscape, and The Last of Us is dark and gritty and like, yeah, mushrooms. And I can I just talk about this for a sec? Like,
Talk about what? Homestuck.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Be quick.
Okay, it updated today. It's not going to update again for a while, and there's been a really big moment which is linking to growing up. And when people aspire to be something and they have a goal, like when I'm old I want to be an astronaut, and to do that I have to do all these things, there's always that idea afterwards that really you had it in you all along, and the journey is only to make you realise that you had it in you.
Okay.
That's a common storytelling element in terms of growing up.
That's true. That's very true.
So yeah, very emotional, very emotional stuff in Inside Out.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a pun. Emotion. Yeah. What else do we have? What else do you have? Do you have anything else?
Single points of failure.
Oh yeah. Did hang on? Did you write that or did I write that?
You told me to write that.
Yeah. Well.
So there'll probably be a link to that video that you sent me.
Did you watch it?
I did. Of course I did. The what? Tom Scott one.
The Tom Scott one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a video that like I was at first I wasn't expecting much, and then it was like, whoa, hang on, this is an issue. Like, why is nobody talking about this?
Tom Scott is actually his channel. I really like it. He does loads of interesting videos. Most of them are just short videos talking about things, but he also does like talks and stuff about other things.
He's been to Chernobyl now, hasn't he?
Yes, his latest video is about the new cover for the reactor.
But yeah, this idea of like basically the whole talk for this single point of failure idea is that Google, the world's biggest company, whatever, has a very small amount of people who are allowed to modify the code, like directly the permissions code and stuff in Google. And
didn't he say like 5 people in his
five trusted people
in his talk? Do you know if that's accurate or not?
No, I don't know, but
okay.
It's certainly plausible.
Yeah,
and,
it sounds reasonable enough.
And the idea is one of them goes rogue and basically makes it so whatever you put in the password box when you're signing into Google Plus, it accepts it as true. So you can log into anybody's account just by knowing their username.
Which means you've got their email address.
Yeah.
And once you've got their email address, you can get any other of their accounts to send their links for resetting their passwords back to you.
Yeah.
So you can get into anyone's account for anything.
And then stop them from getting into their accounts.
Precisely. By changing changing passwords on their... Well, can you? Can you stop them? Not fully. You can, like, slow them down.
Yeah. But there's basically, it says that people, when this happens, either try their best to save everything they have on the computer, take it all down themselves, save it in good places, and make sure that nothing bad's going to happen to it. There's going to be people who go around destroying as much as possible, like just YouTube channels
deleting
and things,
YouTube
just wiping them out as part of like a personal grudge. And the idea that just one person with access to this could destroy hundreds and hundreds of channels in just a couple of hours by doing this is
probably scary.
It's mind-blowing, really. Because it only takes one person, and the world is a scary place, and though most people wouldn't do it, one person is enough. And then the last people were the people who went around using the information to try and find out information about like companies and things, and basically this was the whole point of it. The whole scam was the person who went rogue wanted it to be a big whistleblowing thing, like every bad thing that was happening in every company, someone would find out and someone would say. But then, because of the media, nobody did say anything, because the media just kind of covered it up with how to protect your data.
Yeah.
So
it was all overshadowed by, this is happening. You need to make sure you're safe.
Yeah. And it's scary, when do people start to look at the bigger picture as opposed to just worrying about themselves? And should we expect people to do that?
We shouldn't expect people to do that. It's not. Yeah. It's because I think once you're afraid of something, you're not really. That becomes your main priority.
Yeah.
Really, that's like a pretty primal thing. That once something's scaring you, you're gonna look out for yourself.
So yeah. Serious stuff. That's a big issue, and I think Google does a lot already to stop things like that happening, but they can never be 100% sure. I think we need to act as if we're not 100% sure either. So don't upload files with questionable content to your Google Drives.
Otherwise.
Rip you, rip your family, rip the world. Okay, but that's everything on my list here.
Is that everything on your list?
So I don't have any more surprises for you.
Wow.
From now on, it's going to be like on the spot surprises.
On the spot surprises. That's pretty scary.
It is. We could say anything right now, and none of us would see it coming.
So I could say. I could say anything, and you wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, so I could. So what could I say? I could say, I could say, you, ha, and you wouldn't see that coming.
No, I wouldn't see it coming.
Wow.
I thought, to be honest, I thought you were going to say canals. I thought that was going to be
Okay, no, I didn't think of that. So hang on, if I said canals, you wouldn't see that coming.
No, I would have seen that coming because that's what I expected. That's why I expected.
But you said I could say anything, and you wouldn't see it coming. So
well, you didn't say anything,
lying.
Did you?
You're a fraud.
You said haha.
You're a fraud.
I'm not a fraud.
Yes, you are.
You didn't say anything. You said
no, you're a fraud.
Haha. That's not anything.
You're a fraud.
James, I'm not a fraud.
Yes, you are.
I'm many things, but I am not a fraud.
You're many things. Oh my God. Are we done?
No, we're not, because I have one last thing to say that this is all reminding me of.
Oh, good.
Causality.
Causality?
That's a word.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Should I check?
Because when I said that you could say anything and we couldn't expect it to happen, if I asked you that exact same question in the exact same circumstances, you would say the exact same thing after all your umming and ahhing. And that's a pretty weird thing, because to me it's like, that's one thing that's, to me, would say that the multiverse can't exist.
Sorry, so explain that again.
So, people say there's the multiverse, like every turning point in the universe, every time someone makes a decision, the universe splits in two paths, one where the decision went one way and one where it went the other.
I know about the multiverse theory.
What I'm suggesting is that people will only ever make one decision.
I don't think that's true. I think any number of decisions can be made, and every single decision that is made has an infinite amount of impact.
Why?
Because that just kind of makes sense.
But to me it doesn't make sense, because like, if you roll a dice and then in like a vacuum or something using a machine, and then use the same machine to roll the same dice in the same vacuum, the dice would roll in the exact same way. And it wouldn't like land on a different side because it's a physical object and physical objects
Well,
are.
no, but that's fine. But I'm not saying that that would change. I'm saying that every human decision, because say, you know,
But human decisions aren't random. They're based on stimuli, and
Precisely.
stimuli isn't
but
random.
but no 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 no. It's not all based on stimuli. It's based on judgment, mainly.
But
So, right, this is one of my core beliefs that I have at the moment.
okay.
And the way I see it is that if I just got up now and just walked out, I could do that, and that would have an effect on the world.
Oh yeah,
and-
no. I'm not saying it doesn't have an effect.
But I'm saying that, but it could go either way. I could stay here, or I could go out, or any other number of infinite possibilities could happen. That no one thing will happen every single time. I'm saying, you think that the same thing would happen every single time
Yeah.
in this universe, because this universe is all you know. But if there are infinite universes being created by these different decisions, then you would never know. You'd only know about the decisions that keep being made.
The only way that I can see the decisions playing out differently is if the universe started differently. So in that very instant when the entire universe was created, in the Big Bang or whatever you want to call it, things happened slightly differently based on design more than anything. So hang on, is anything truly random?
Yes,
What is truly random?
random.org.
No, because random.org is based off algorithms, and it would give you the same number if you asked it twice.
Apple's random shuffle on iTunes.
No, that's also James, these are things that are based off algorithms. Think bigger. Think like quantum particles. Are those truly random?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
they always act one
I
way?
don't know. Ask a physicist. I'm not a physicist.
Hmm.
A quantum physicist.
This issue, I've just read, this issue is too big for us.
It's bigger than the both of us.
Yeah,
combined.
we can't answer this.
It's actually bigger than the podcast, and the podcast is pretty big.
Hang on. Is it? How many
Yeah.
views does our last video have? And how many of those are me? 20 views over 2 weeks.
20 views. That's pretty impressive.
I think about 4 of those are me.
Well, that's fine.
Um,
But I mean,
okay. Yeah. So that's it. We leave you with this. Is your entire life a lie?
probably not.
Probably not, because no one's lying to you. We're only lying to ourselves.
That's deep. So, on that note, I have been James, still am, probably
Whoa,
still will be.
hang on. Whoa, stop. Hang on. I don't know the last chords. What are the last chords I do on the harmonica?
Just make some up.
Hang on.
So-
I'm listening to-
I have been James. He has been Nick. We probably both still will continue to be James and Nick, respectively. And this has been The Bigger Issues. We'll probably see you next week.
That was easy.
I think that's a
Okay.
wrap.
Yay.